Interested in mastering the art of bill negotiation? Consider the wealth you could accumulate each month. The prospect is not just about minor savings, but potentially hundreds of dollars. It's not as complex as it might seem. With the right tactics and a smidgen of tenacity, you can revolutionize your financial trajectory. This video will provide you with straightforward and understandable steps to become adept at bill negotiation. Scene script. First, you need to understand your bills. You can't negotiate effectively without knowing what you're dealing with. Imagine you're attempting to decipher an ancient manuscript without knowing the language. That's what it's like trying to negotiate your bills without understanding them. So, let's break it down. Most of us have a variety of bills. Utilities like water, gas, or electricity, subscriptions like gym memberships or streaming services, and perhaps even medical bills. Each of these bills has unique components that you need to understand. Utility bills, for example, often include a base charge and then additional charges based on usage. Subscriptions, on the other hand, typically have a flat monthly fee, but might also include add-on costs for extra features or services. Medical bills can be a bit more complex, with charges for individual services, supplies, or medications, and they may be influenced by your health insurance coverage. The key here is to read your bills, understand what each charge is for, and don't be afraid to ask questions if something doesn't make sense. Many companies offer detailed explanations of their bills on their websites, or you can call their customer service for clarification. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you understand about your bills, the better equipped you'll be to negotiate them. And don't forget, sometimes the smallest details can lead to the biggest savings. With a clear understanding of your bills, you're ready to move on to the next step. Scene script. Knowledge is power. Researching comparable rates gives you the upper hand in negotiations. Picture this. You're on a mission to ensure that you're not paying a penny more than necessary for your services. The first step on this journey? Researching comparable rates. This is the process of exploring what other companies charge for the same or similar services. Think of it like scouting the field before a big game. You want to know what you're up against, who's offering the best deals, and where you can find the most bang for your buck. Start by identifying the services you're currently using. This could be anything from your cable and internet package to your gym membership. Once you've got your list, it's time to hit the books, or rather, the search engine. Look up each service and find out what other providers are charging. Be sure to compare like for like. That means looking at the details of what each package includes. For instance, if your current internet package includes unlimited data, make sure you're comparing it to other unlimited data packages. Now, you might be thinking, but what about those special introductory rates? Yes, those can be tempting, but remember, they're usually just for a limited time. Make sure you know what the regular rate will be once that introductory period is over. Once you've gathered all this information, make a note of it. This will be your negotiation toolkit. You'll use this data to show your current provider that you know what's out there and that you're not afraid to switch if it means getting a better deal. Remember, companies want to keep their customers. If they know you're considering leaving, they may be willing to negotiate to keep your business. And that's where your research comes into play. Now that you're armed with information, it's time to make contact. So, get ready for the next phase of your mission, the negotiation. It's time to channel your inner negotiator and get the best deal possible. And remember, stay tuned for our next video, where we'll guide you through that process. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you won't miss a beat. Don't be shy, it's time to make contact. Remember, the worst they can say is no. So you've done your homework, you understand your bills, you've researched comparable rates, and you're ready to take a stab at negotiating. But where do you start? Well, the first step is making contact. When reaching out to your service providers, remember to be clear and concise. State your purpose immediately. You could say something like, "Hi there, I've been a customer for a while now, and I've noticed some cheaper rates elsewhere. I'd love to discuss how we can adjust my current plan to match these." Now, remember that the person on the other end of the line is a human too. They're just doing their job, and they're more likely to help you if you're polite and understanding. So, keep your cool, even if things aren't going exactly your way. If you feel yourself getting frustrated, take a deep breath and remind yourself that you're in control of the conversation. It's also crucial to be prepared. Before you pick up the phone, have all your information at hand. Know your account details, your current plan, and the rates you found elsewhere. This not only shows that you're serious, but also saves everyone's time. And finally, don't be afraid to ask for what you want. If you found a better deal elsewhere, let them know. If they can't match it, ask if there are any other discounts or promotions available. Remember, the goal here is to save money, and you won't achieve that by being timid. However, don't be too pushy either. It's a delicate balance, but with practice, you'll find your sweet spot. Remember, if you don't succeed at first, you can always try again. Persistence is key in negotiation, and that's how you make the initial contact. It might seem a bit daunting at first, but remember, every great negotiator had to start somewhere. Congratulations on taking the first step. Now, let's talk about the negotiation itself. This is where the magic happens, the negotiation. Now that you've done your homework, you're armed with all the intel you need. You're ready to dive into the heart of the matter, the negotiation. This is where your preparation pays off, where your research and understanding of your bills and comparable rates come into play. Firstly, be clear about what you want. Remember the rates you've researched? That's your goal. You want to either match or beat those rates. So start with that. Let them know you're aware of what others are offering and that you expect nothing less. But here's the trick. Don't let them know that's your final offer. Give yourself some wiggle room. Start a bit higher than what you're actually aiming for. That way, when you compromise, you're still getting what you want. It's a classic negotiation tactic, and it works. Next, anticipate the responses you'll receive. They might tell you they can't match the rate, or that they're already giving you the best deal possible. But don't let that discourage you. Stand your ground. Be persistent. Remember, companies want to keep their customers. It's more costly for them to find new customers than to retain existing ones. Use this to your advantage. Let them know you're considering switching to a different provider. They might just offer you a better deal to keep your business. Now, here's an important point. Throughout the negotiation, maintain a calm and respectful tone. You're not there to argue, you're there to negotiate. You want them on your side. So treat them with respect, and they're likely to reciprocate. And if they don't budge, don't be afraid to escalate. Ask to speak to a manager or someone higher up. Sometimes the first person you speak to might not have the authority to give you a better deal, but someone higher up might. Lastly, don't be disheartened if you don't get the rate you want on your first attempt. Negotiation is an art, and like any art, it takes time and practice to master. So keep trying, keep negotiating. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Remember, don't get discouraged if you don't get what you want the first time. Negotiation is a skill, and it improves with practice. You're well on your way to becoming a master at negotiating your bills. Today, we've covered some groundbreaking strategies that can potentially save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars annually. We started by understanding your bills, breaking them down to the last cent. Then we delved into the world of researching comparable rates, arming you with the knowledge to challenge your service providers. We ventured into the somewhat daunting task of making contact, but remember, the key is to be polite, persistent, and patient. Finally, we navigated the intricate dance of negotiation, where confidence and preparedness are your best friends. Now it's your turn. Take these strategies and use them. Start small if you need to, maybe with that monthly gym membership you've been wanting to tackle. It may seem intimidating at first, but remember, the worst they can say is no. And even then, you've gained the experience for your next negotiation. As you continue on this journey, remember that negotiation is an art, and like any art, it requires practice. So don't be discouraged if your first few attempts don't go as planned. Keep at it, and soon you'll be seeing the fruits of your labor reflected in your bank balance. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon so you'll never miss out on more money-saving tips and tricks. Remember, every dollar saved is a dollar earned.